This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. In the best Batman movie ever made, 1966's Batman the Movie, the supervillains turn the United Nations Security Council into dust by dehydrating them. And then you just add a bit of water and poof, they reappear. It's an entire human being and a handful of powder with just a bit of water needed to recreate the whole human. Sometimes, what seems to be a foolish decision can be an amazingly good decision. It all depends on your ability to realize that little things add up a lot. When I'm working with coaching clients, we often need to help them find time to pursue the new initiatives in their lives. And often, the new time comes from very small changes. A few weeks ago, my 7-year-old computer died. It was old, it was pokey, programs took several seconds to launch. Maybe twice an hour I'd switch applications and I'd get the cute spinning beach ball for 30 seconds while the new application fired up. And woe is me if I had to switch back and forth between mail, word processing, and diagram programs. The beach ball and I, we bonded. We were BFFs. Emphasis on the forever. When the system died, I screamed and screamed and screamed in delight because now I had an excuse to buy a new computer. I ran right out to the Apple Store and snagged a nice new iMac. Only this time, I spent the extra few $100s for lots of memory and a really fast hard drive. Boom! Major life change instantly. Now, computing's a breeze. I switch between applications as quickly and easily as politicians switching between deeply held policy positions when pandering for votes. Everything is snappy and responsive, and my mind is clear. I realize I waited for my sluggish system 3 or 4 times an hour. In an 8-hour day, that's 32 times. 32 times I waited 30 seconds or more for something to happen. That makes 16 minutes a day. Using the 3:30 rule, you can find a link to my episode about that in this episode's transcript. You will quickly realize that 16 minutes a day adds up to 1.5 weeks every year. Watching a spinning beach ball. Dreaming of, but not doing, productive work. So much for my vacation. Saving a week and a half a year more than justifies buying a new computer. A week and a half a year for 7 years is 10.5 weeks, gone forever. All because I was too cheap to shell out the bucks for a faster processor and a little more memory. Lesson learned. Buy a fast, speedy computer and it will more than pay for itself over time. And then there's my house key. It's in the middle of my keyring. Every time I arrive or I leave, I grab my keyring and I fumble around to locate the right key. In winter, it means putting my groceries down in the snow, soaking the bag through with ice water, and removing my gloves so that I have the dexterity to deal with the keys. Great fodder for guilt-tripping my nieces and nephews. Oh, but honestly, I do this 5 times a day. If it adds 20 seconds each time, that's 4 to 5 minutes a day. Multiply by 365 and we get 12 hours a year. Yes, I spend a day a year fumbling for my keys. My schmoopy, whose IQ leaves me in the dust, just laughed and laughed and laughed before pointing out an easy solution. Get 2 house keys. Put one on each end of my bundle of keys, and then no matter how I pick up the key ring, the very endmost key is always the door key. Cost to duplicate a key? $1.29. Time to put a key on the key ring? 30 seconds. For $1.29 and 30 seconds, I can have an extra day a year. Worth it? You bet. Then there's my file system. Now, my files are mostly archival, which is a nice way of saying that I'm a file hoarder. Most of my files have no useful purpose whatsoever, but there are a few files that I use quite often. Being pretty retentive when it comes to filing, my files are carefully filed in alphabetical order. Every time I need one of my common files, I walk over to my filing cabinet, search through, and pull out the appropriate file. When the work is done, back it goes. Now, I'll bet you can see where this is going. If it takes me 30 seconds every time I do this, and I do it 20 times a week, that's a couple of hours a year. Now, you may say, Stever, this is great. You're getting an extra 2 hours of weightlifting and mild aerobic exercise. But you forget, I'm already a studly manly man who takes after Get Fit guy Ben Greenfield. My exercise should be intense at the gym, and it should include throngs of admirers going ooh and ah from the sidelines. All I did was move my common files to a little hanging file near my desk, and voila, an extra 2 hours a year that I can use to go to the gym and inspire people. What all these examples have in common, other than being about wonderful me, of course, is that they show how small things add up. The small things are pernicious because individually they're nothing. They're so small that when we do a cost-benefit analysis, we never fix them. Our brain says, it would take $1,000 to eliminate this 30 seconds of spinning beach ball. That's silly. But if only we realized in that moment that these things happen over and over and over again, and when you realize that, they are very much worth fixing. Monitor your life for a day. Look for little activities that take longer than they should, but not really enough to seem worth fixing. If the activity repeats, figure out how much of your life is getting sucked into the activity every year, and now do what it takes to solve the problem once and for all. You have one precious, valuable, irreplaceable life, and if you're going to waste it, don't waste it waiting for a spinning beach ball. Trade it to a voodoo priestess for the power to read minds. It's much more fun than waiting for Excel. This is Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I help high achievers accelerate or change their careers. If you want to know more, visit steverobbins.com. That's SteverRobbins.com. Work less, do more, and have a great life.